What do you want to be when you grow up has plagued kids for generations, but career anxiety is now at an all-time high.
As automation spreads through the American economy, experts say its impacts will be uneven.
Kempler Industries looked at jobs, though, more likely to be taken over by automation.
Some of those dangers are imminent and they're technological, and the main one is robotics and artificial intelligence.
Between 2001 and 2013, personal assistant jobs in the UK had fallen by 45%. Other occupations such as library assistants and travel agents also saw huge declines.
There is this, in some cases, a hyperbolic discussion going on in the press, which has accelerated more recently.
Our country is on the road to becoming an automation nation.
When you talk about disruption, we can't ignore the fact that people in general will think, what's that going to do to my job?
Fear of automation, robotics, and AI, and that we're going to destroy tens of millions of jobs with these emerging technologies.
Imagine you could take the best person in your warehouse, and instead of 2 arms, they have 10 arms.
They ran it 6 days straight, 24 hours a day, lights out when everybody was gone.
The cost of human labor has been steadily escalating.
And they're constantly getting higher and higher expectations, have to drive their costs down.
We actually have kind of taken the opportunity to create a pipeline to new types of jobs.
We've developed curriculum for our employees to let them know that the hardware jobs of the past are going to go away, but the software jobs of the future are going to grow, and give them a curriculum that if they want to make the change, they can retrain themselves so they can compete for the jobs of the future.
Excited to be here for our 6th annual Solutions Day. I'm Sherry Budziak. I'm the founder and CEO of .org Source and co-founder of .org Community. So it's great to see everybody here, both in person and online today. So whether we bump elbows, shake hands, hug, or connect via Zoom, I am looking forward to reconnecting with all of you. So I want to give a big shout out to Dan Stevens. His colleague Doug is here today, but Dan provided us with this great video this morning, and Dan's the president of Worker Bee TV. So to really just start us kind of thinking about the future of work as it's kind of on all of our minds. So from medicine to mechanics, associations revolve around the professions, and we can all probably agree that the future of work is anything but certain. So well before the pandemic, Kevin and I were thinking, writing, and talking about the impact of Industry 4.0 on the association industry and how it would impact the workforce. Robotics has been identified as a key disruptor, and there is no doubt that eventually automation will transform professions in every sector. So here's a few statistics. From McKinsey, 88% of businesses plan to adapt robotics in their infrastructure. RoboDK reports that in 2021, life science and pharmaceutical robots orders were up 69%. And Robotics Tomorrow anticipates an annual growth of 15 to 20% in robotics revenue in by 2028. So if you have any doubt about the possibilities of androids, you can check out the gallery of personalities created by Hanson Robotics, from Sophia to Joey Chaos. These are very like non-human helpers. They're extraordinary. We were recently out at a restaurant, and there was a robot that was bringing us the food because they said they can't find workers. So they have this $10,000 robot that now could bring us our food. So it's really amazing. So who could imagine, though, that the associations may not be disrupted yet with robotics, but we're definitely had some surprises this past year. Who would have imagined that something we take for granted, such as our physical space, distance that we maintain from each other, and how we interact in the workplace is really, now the debate of the day. So whether we share the same physical environment or work separately, gather at conferences or attend on small screens, these seem to be like simple decisions. But how we respond opens the doors to other more complex considerations that concern culture, economics, and the fundamentals of how business gets done. Remote work is literally changing the landscape. McKinsey found that 20 to 25% of the workforces in advanced economies could work from home between 3 to 5 days a week. This is 4 to 5 times more remote work than before the pandemic. In August 2020, a survey of 278 executives revealed on average that they plan to reduce office space by 30%. Where people spend most of their day was a profound implication across the economy. In downtown Chicago, we've seen the impact of the Water Tower Place, losing Macy's, losing tenants, restaurants being closed, and office buildings being repurposed. While tourism and shopping will probably rebound on Michigan Avenue, but people realize that they don't need to be in the office 40 hours a week. In addition, a year of living differently has caused workers to rethink their employment priorities. People are seizing that moment. They're making career decisions, they're becoming entrepreneurs, they're reevaluating their work-life balance, or they're getting out of the workforce altogether. So .org Source, we've been a virtual company since we launched 16 years ago, but most of our clients were not, and so this has had an impact on us as well. And we have been recently having conversations with colleagues and CEOs on what challenges that they're still having, especially in the area of culture and talent acquisition. We are witnessing challenges in creating collaborative cultures and retaining staff as they no longer have the deep relationships in the workplace. Although I'm glad to see all the chess people all together. So those relationships have maintained, obviously. Learning a remote style of management, becoming more digitally literate, and finding employees who can thrive in technology-centered businesses are significant issues. So a couple years ago, we started .org Freelancer with the knowledge that associations were going to be needing to use more specialized employees on a contract basis. And I watched this scenario playing out in our marketplace. I recently did a podcast with Stephen Peeler, which some of you may know. He is the executive director at the Infectious Disease Society of America Foundation. So he recently told me that he used freelancers, his group, he hired 41 freelancers to develop a robust grant-seeking program. Stephen said that one of the lessons he learned was that if the assignment is something that you don't need regularly, like grant writing, that it's better to use freelancers. He said it's a heavy lift, but you must find a way to get the best of the best, even if you're only hiring somebody for 5 hours a week. So the willingness to experiment with new ways of operating was what we call Association 4.0 leadership, is stepping up to becoming an executive who is comfortable in the digital marketplace. And in the next year or two, we'll all be called on to meet that challenge. We may be required to stretch in ways that are uncomfortable and to adapt habits that feel unfamiliar. But .org Source and the solution providers who are here today, who will present, are ready to help you grow and position yourself for success. Now, I'd like to introduce someone who I think of as a model of Association 4.0, my friend and business partner, Kevin Ordonez, who is the president and managing director of digital strategy for .org Source.
Great, thank you, Sherry, and good morning, everyone. As Sherry mentioned, Sherry and I wrote 2 books on Association 4.0 leadership, but I think this was the first time that I've been recognized in that category, so proud to make that cut. Association 4.0 leadership is what we call the skill sets professionals need to adapt to the workplace that is reshaping itself around us constantly. And so our speakers today are going to offer solutions to help you gain, keep, and grow your market share in this environment. And we'll hear new ideas for generating non-dues revenue, using video to gain members, sponsors, and engagement, data analytics, e-learning, and digital transformation. It's an agenda that offers lots of practical advice as well as inspiration for innovation. And I'm excited to hear all that's going on with these strategies becoming a more digital organization. So a good friend of ours, Hugh Lee, another entrepreneur that we interviewed for our second book. He's also the co-founder of Fusion Productions. But when we were talking to him, he made a comment that really resonated with me in describing the essence of a digital leader. And he said, there's lots of discussion about whether leaders are born or made. And you can teach skill sets, but the most important ability is a bit elusive. It's talent that develops from a combination of experience, training, and intuition. And you need to pay attention and read the landscape and see beyond the present moment. And success is all about connecting the dots. So some other traits that we want to share with you today from the people we interviewed are these 5 right here. So these are the common best practices or lessons learned that we heard about from all of our folks that we talked to. So the first one, match the speed of change. Certainly, stability in shifting markets requires momentum. And it's like riding a bicycle. You won't stay upright if you're standing still. And so technology is not the energy that drives this growth, but the ability to explore, innovate, and exploit opportunity is. Follow your purpose. So understanding where your association's value truly lies and making that vision your first priority aligns with a growth mindset. And at their core, all digital leaders are problem solvers. They are constantly looking for ways to improve experiences for their customers. Develop people. Certainly technology is one tool, but the most important tool are your folks and your staff. And your own success depends on the team you build. And digital thinkers empower everyone to excel, from the board to the most junior staff member on your team. And that every employee is skilled at their job and trained to do their technology they're given. So also in a digital culture, everyone counts. No amount of training or mentoring can compensate for a hiring mistake or an appointment or misappointment to the board. So I've seen CEOs rush to fill that spot, and nothing could be more harmful to your organization's success. Next, focus on the we. Through their actions and visions, digital leaders create a we culture. And most of the entrepreneurs we interviewed acknowledged that a pyramid with the CEO alone at the top is not a structure that utilizes the power of the team to maintain momentum. And lastly, change perspective. And changing an association structure or business model can be slow going because you're not the only person in control. You have the board, you have your members that constantly need that buy-in. But becoming a digital leader is easier. And you're the first person that must change. Instead of looking down, you need to look across and out. And don't try to be the only expert. Seek out problem solvers and problem finders. For example, professionals like who will be presenting today. And our industry partners have their eyes on the developments across the marketplace. And that knowledge is a gateway to Association 4.0 leadership. So use their solutions to learn and grow and put your organization on firm footing in an unpredictable future. So I hope you enjoyed today and that you leave inspired to meet your next challenge with a strategy that takes you and your members further than you've ever imagined. So now I'd like to introduce Jake Zanagar, the Chief Growth Officer at Hum, and our MC for today. Jake has served professional association and scientific publishing community for more than 20 years. And Jake has led the development and adoption of SaaS platforms for online publishing, training, and certification at Silverchair Learning Systems, now part of Realize. In his position at Hum, Jake is working with technologists and association leaders to create a new customer data platform. And Hum's customer data platform enables associations to unify content and usage across their digital properties, develop rich insights and useful predictions about individuals and groups, and deliver a personalized content and products that engage and inform. Welcome, Jake.
Hi, everyone. How are we feeling today? All right, I'm your MC for today, which means I have one job, and that is to make this exciting and interesting for you, to keep you all engaged and enthusiastic during this event. I'd also like to bring up, Sherry, that I am not a robot, and you cannot replace me with a robot, at least for 10 years or so. So Solutions Day, what a concept. This is a great conference. It's much better than its alternative, Intractable Problems Day. That conference takes place every day in Washington, D.C. Oh yeah, it's going to be bad, just for everyone to know. So I'm actually very excited to be here. We at Hum do have a CDP, which is a new class of software, which is really seen as the evolution of the CRM and the AMS that you use now. There's a white paper that comes as part of your attendance here that you can grab digitally here, or there's actually QR codes on your agendas as well. So I advise you to take a look at CDPs. I've been told by many consultants that everyone's going to need one within 5 years, so it's good to take a look at them now. So today's event is going to be kind of a hybrid. We're going to have some folks here presenting live, and we're going to have some recorded sessions as well. And of course, we have a good group of in-person attendees today, as well as folks online as well. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. Our first speaker today is Terry Carden. She's the CEO and founder of 100 Reviews and Review My AMS. She's going to be talking today about non-dues revenue. So always good to kick off with talking about revenue. Terry, ReviewMyAMS.com is a trusted site for executives to provide end users reviews of their association management systems. You operate Review My AMS while tackling the day-to-day of building 100 reviews. It's a software tool to allow associations to develop their own review sites, generating revenue and delivering member value.